There we go. So that recording has started now. I think we've got a couple of guests with us this evening, and I think Varsha's just put in the chat. If you're happy to kind of share what you do, where you're from, what your names are, things like that. It's just to share in the chat. Just put a little message in, and share where you're from, what your names are, and what your kind of role is, maybe at your club. They're all coming in now, so it's always a good start when we've got more people joining us. Yeah. So I'll put it in. So a few people typing, Varsha.
Oh no, I was like, is everyone shy?
Yeah, no, a few people typing, I think, just taking a while.
I'm just nosy, you see, so yeah, sorry. I'd like to know what people are doing, especially when I can't see faces either.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah, a couple of messages coming in now, so there you go.
Yeah, brilliant.
Right, while them messages are coming in, keep them kind of coming as we go, because it's also nice to take a little bit of a register as well of who's here for future events and things like that, and we can mark who's engaged with us and stuff throughout the course of the programs and the workshops and stuff as well. So yeah, drop the message into the chat. But I'm gonna just start sharing my screen now, and then hopefully that will get started once that's on screen. There we go, perfect. Right, can you see that? Is that okay? Has that come through?
Yes, it's come through on mine. I can see it fine.
Good. Yeah, I can't see the chat now either. So if you guys want to keep an eye on that, and cool as you go through. But so first things first, I guess. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We're kind of lucky in some respect that we've got kind of two people from Women in Sport joining us this evening. I'll let them introduce themselves in a second, and it links very much into the recreational programs that we're running, kind of that you guys are running really more than within us, but we're kind of supporting you guys to run, and kind of a little bit of background on where the links might be into what these guys are doing at Women in Sport. And what we're doing in the football world. So I'll quite quickly now hand over to you guys. I'll let you introduce yourselves, and then just let me know when you want me to change slides and stuff, and I'll go through.
Perfect. Well, hello everyone. So I'm Sakara, and this is Varsha over here, and we are from Women in Sport. Oh, sorry, I think my mic's on a bit. Can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah. I think I can hear like an echo. It's like the worst. I was going to say there's a little bit of an echo, Sakara. That's fine. You can listen to me twice. So Varsha and I are from Women in Sport. So Women in Sport is a UK-based charity. We're actually based in London Bridge. There's actually only 22 of us. Small but mighty. So we are an insight, advocacy and influencing charity. So our main role is to be advocating for women and girls across all of the life stages in the hope of, increasing participation and also showcasing those benefits of sport that we all know. We know how important sport is, and we know all those, skills and values that we get off the back end of doing physical activity and sport. So at Women in Sport, a lot of our work is around, challenging those societal stereotypes, removing those barriers, advocating for policy. Like I mentioned, we'd like to influence policy as much as we can. Obviously, if we can influence policy, we can influence a lot more than just, the behind the doors kinds of policies that we like to try and influence. So a lot of our work is also based around, that transformative power of sport. So whether it's, promoting health, well-being, personal development, we know that sport gives you that resilience, that confidence, which is why we're here to try and ensure that all girls and all women are having that opportunity to get involved and therefore, have those values. So if you just want to skip to the next slide. and then there's probably 2 more. So that's us. Obviously, you know, sport transforms lives. We know that it gives women and girls, you know, resilience, courage, self-belief, and that sense of belonging. So we know that. So here we are trying to make sure that more and more people understand that, but also more and more people understand that there is a space for them in sport, and that if they do want to get involved in that, that there's that opportunity, as well as that at the other end of it, those skills that we know that you will need. And then on to the next slide. So Varsha and I are here today to talk about our campaign, Time Together. So Time Together is a campaign that stemmed from some of our research on teenage girls. So through looking at teenage girls, we began to understand that a lot of girls were not meeting those recommended activity levels and were just continuously dropping. And we started to understand that a lot of young girls' motivation for wanting to get involved in sport and to do physical activity was actually their mothers. So we started to realize that on the other end of, you know, girls not wanting to get involved in sport and not wanting to do physical activity, on the other side was their mothers, who were also not reaching these activity levels that they meant to be. And so together we realized that mothers and daughters working out together and getting involved in team sport or physical activity together was really important and had a huge impact on both the mother and the daughter. And so this is where Time Together came about. So Time Together is basically 2 weeks in October where we are hoping to ensure that our research, off the back of our research, that women and girls do get involved in exercise together, because we know that mothers and mother figures, you know, need that time for themselves, their me time, as well as we know how important it is for young teenage girls to want to get involved in sport and physical activity. So basically, Time Together is all about addressing these barriers, so removing these barriers so that mothers and daughters both feel that there is a space for them to want to get involved in sport. So Varsha, if you kind of want to touch on more of Time Together itself and what we're asking from partners and people that are doing activations on the ground.
Yeah, no problem. If you just quickly go through to the next slide, I think there's one that we probably could just, Sakara, I don't know if you want to just talk through the stats quickly.
Yeah,
and then I'll move on.
So the stats here, as you can see, I mean, I think the most important stat there is probably the 43% of young girls, teenagers, that fall out of love of sport, as well on the other side, the 39% of women who are not active enough. So obviously our goal at Women in Sport is to try and increase those stats. And as you can see, you know, teenagers are disengaging with sport, mothers are struggling to find time for themselves. And therefore we've kind of linked these two together and said, actually, the two of them together can both benefit from doing a sport and physical activity. You know, mothers will make time for themselves, as well as teenage daughters will want to be motivated by their mothers, and we're seeing that mothers and daughters working out together is increasing, and therefore we're able to see that impact of the whole of Time Together.
Oh, lovely. Thanks, Sakara. If we just move on to the next slide, I'm just going to quickly, actually we should mention that big stat that just came up. Could we go back one? So like the big headline stat from our research was the fact that although 54% of teenage girls are not active, 76% of them want to be more active, and 84% of midlife women want to be more active. So we know there's an actual need there. There's a desire to want to get active, and that's, you know, that's huge, knowing that like 1.3 million girls are disengaging with sport by the time they've left primary school. So for us, this is like huge, because we know the benefits of sport and the value sport has on women and girls, especially like through all stages of their life. So this is why this campaign is so important for us. Next slide, please. So this year's campaign is called Claim Your Right to Sport. So again, it's the same essence for Time Together that we've always had. We are targeting midlife mums and mums who may not have daughters but have like mom-like figures towards teenage girls or nieces, you know, someone they've got it could be their best friend's daughter or something, who are quite inactive at the moment, especially in those communities that don't understand, you know, how important exercise and fitness is, or may just financially not be able to, you know, to take part in some sports, but equally knowing that there's a lot of sports that you can do without any cost. So for us, it's all about showing the joy that being active can bring together, and the variety of ways mums and daughters can do this. And there's a bit for this campaign in particular, we really want to be able to kind of communicate the message that women have every right to put themselves first. And we know they're like there's probably moms on the group as well who are forever putting themselves last because they have to put the needs of the family first. And so when you think about sport and exercise, it's probably at the bottom of the list. But equally, what we're saying is that you need to make that time when you're thinking about your teenage daughter and like the long-term health benefits. It's so important that you get active. And we also know that girls want to get active with their moms, so there's a massive there's a massive synergy there that we want to kind of profile and get more mothers and daughters involved. How we do it, it's an awareness raising campaign. It's led on digital channels, so we rely heavily on content from partners, and we'll generate our own content as well. But it's showcasing the laughter, the fun. Mums and daughters can be in an environment where they feel safe and they're not feeling judged, and they don't need to worry about how they look and feel. They can just they're getting active, but they're making those memories as well. So it's not about trying to compete at a high level. It's just about taking a moment where you just enjoying a physical activity or sport together. And we're doing this during October half term, which is for most of us starting on the 21st of October, and it'll run across the 2 weeks and ending on the 1st of November. Sorry. Next slide, please, Dani. Just a quick outline of the aims. So for us, it's all about the authentic storytelling, the joys of being active together, and reminding society that mother-daughter time is just as expected as father and son time. So, society has got a big part to play and responsible for the way we think and form our attitudes. And, there's this natural expectation that fathers and sons spend time together, either kicking a ball about in the garden, going to watch a game, and that's it's just what we do in society, and it's something that's kind of like naturally encouraged, but it's not something that you see mothers and daughters doing naturally. You've got to physically make the time. So what we want to do is just want to we just want to be able to normalize mother-daughter time is just as important. We want to speak to lots of different communities. There's a big education piece about why getting active is so important. And we want to do this by kind of sharing photos, videos, case studies, just evidence of like moms and daughters having a good time through our digital channels. And the idea is that for partners like yourself, if you are providing activities, we can help further promote them on our channels as well. Next, please, Dani. So this is just an idea of like the emotional and physical benefits that getting active together can have between mother and daughter. So these are just some of the feelings that kind of mothers and daughters in particular will feel when exercising together. So it's in a judgment-free environment. We can think about reframing the word sport. It doesn't actually have to be about being competitive and being the best. It can also just be about enjoying the activity, supporting each other, getting active together, making memories, trying something new. We really want to encourage this for mothers and daughters to try something new. They feel a sense of pride and purpose. It's there's more inclusion there. And they're just generally happier in a safer environment, basically. Next, Dani, just going to whiz through these quickly. And this was just a snapshot of last year's campaign. And the next slide, please, Dani. So this is some of the user content was generated for us from our partners like yourselves. So we had we had lots of sports taking part, and basically it was just kind of authentic narrative about moms and daughters taking part in different sessions, whether it be netball, whether it be a bit of rugby, a bit of a walking activity, a racket sport. It was just an opportunity for partners to showcase mothers and daughters getting active, and the response we had was brilliant, to be fair. So we're hoping for the same again. Next, please. In terms of our successes for last year, just quickly going through, we had a lot of influencer endorsement, and we'd like to do that again this year. So if there, you know, if you know of anyone who's a bit of an influencer, or someone that could have like a massive impact or influence on you know, teenage girls in general, or it could be a mother-daughter duo, please let Dani know, because we would love to get more of that kind of profiled. Yeah, the storytelling just really encouraged organic growth, and we had a lot of sports on show. And we actually, the campaign itself reached 1.7 million people. So it was a really, really successful campaign online. The only challenge we find is it's really hard to kind of put into numbers how many people physically took part and are still kind of getting active together. So we kind of gauge on the amount of content we receive and engagement that we get from the socials is what we normally do. Next, please. Okay, so for this year, again, just a quick summary of what I've already said. It's all about being able to push mothers and daughters to get active together. So basically just reminding midlife women that they've got every right to put themselves first when it comes to sport and exercise. And we also need to highlight how much daughters want to get active with their moms. So there's two key drivers there that we want to focus on. And the objective is to push mothers and daughters to get active, and we're going to do that by sharing insights on why our daughters want to exercise with mom. And we also want to promote, you know, what they get out of it, the fun, the laughter, the fact that they feel healthy and well, and it makes them feel happier. And the other part of that is trying to promote the activation events that we've got quite a few partners this year, so they will be running across the UK. Next, Dani. So we've set a few objectives as a charity in terms of what we want the campaign to achieve this year. So we want it to be the most impactful campaign, and we need your help to be able to deliver that. And it's the deeper storytelling. It's those real kind of heartwarming stories that people can connect to. So it's about getting out there and talking to your moms and daughters, which you probably already do, just to find out those stories that could do really well on our socials. There's a media kit that's being produced, and we'll be sharing that. And the aim is to deliver a variety of activation events through our partners, and use the power of influencers as ambassadors. Next. Just quickly going through what your role is. So for this, if you move on to the next slide, Dani, it's just all about providing the content. So what we need from you is you can either provide fresh new content, which just kind of shows mothers and daughters getting active together, and just trying to capture the joy and the memories being made, etc. Or you may have content already, so we're not trying to create more work for you. But if there is, like, you've got nice images where you've run a session where mothers and daughters were getting active together, you are just welcome to use those, and we'll provide some narrative that you can put, you can overlay on that. Next, please, Dani. Some of the narrative that we've told you about, and this will be shared in the partner brief, so you just got a few ideas about how, claiming the right to sport, moms needing to put themselves first. It's more of a call to action, so stop putting everyone else's needs before your own. Be brave, be bold, and reach new heights for yourself. We know for a lot of moms, taking the first step is huge, but who else would you want to take that first step with than your daughter, your niece, or granddaughter? So it's all about kind of defying the that fear of being judged together. So there's some big drivers there. Next, please, Dani. So yeah, again, like I said, do you have a mom that could front the campaign? So it should hopefully start you thinking about some of your players, or someone that's on the team that may be able to, that's got a nice story that should be able to capture. But equally, if that's not the case, it literally is just being able to celebrate mothers and daughters getting active and enjoying themselves, basically. Next, Dani. And then these are just some ideas. So if you are getting some video content. These are just some of the questions on the screen that you could potentially ask. And there's also that if you want to just lead through an image, I mean, these are some of the things you could lead on it through the use of a quote. So you could get maybe a mother or a daughter to provide a quote in terms of like why getting active is so important. And so for moms who are new to the game, it's never too late. It's never too late to, you know, start football or start walking football, or, you know, be a coach, or, you know, to do, it's totally up to you. We're not going to be prescriptive. And the final ask is about having some call to action kind of requests, really, and we will provide some kind of I lost my train of thought now. Some what am I trying to say, Sakara? My mind's gone blank.
We can give you the next step to that with the ask, so we can give
right.
you
Yeah. Sorry, mine went blank. So yeah, it's the next steps, so we'll share those with you as well. Next slide, please. I think that's it. I'm conscious of the time, so I need to shoot off because I've got a little one who's got futsal in 7 minutes. So it was lovely to meet you all, and all I can see is initials on my screen. So, but I didn't see any questions in the chat, but Sakara is staying, so feel free to ask any questions, and we will be sharing the slides and all the information to help you out, so you're not on your own, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help, and we're here to kind of promote to kind of help you guys promote the campaign as much as you can.
Thanks, Barsha.
Thank you. Thanks, Sakara. Are you okay to stay on? I'm going to shoot off.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Cool. Bye, Barsha.
Yeah.
Just one thing to just quickly say on Time Together is Time Together is probably one of our most positive campaigns. A lot of our work sometimes, it's not negative, but it can sometimes be quite hard hitting. And I think the one good thing about Time Together is that it is empowering, it is emotive, and it is a happy campaign. We do want to be showcasing the positives of, you know, that mother-daughter relationship, and show the benefits of it, and also show that you should be making space and time for this if you can, just because we know how important it is. But also a lot of the people that got involved last year, it was their first time, or like their first time getting re-involved in sport. And so we want to make sure that we're creating spaces where, you know, if you don't feel like you have the time, or you don't feel like you have a space, that there is that space for you. So I think that's one really big thing around Time Together.
Thanks, Sakara. So some of you might now be thinking that, right, okay, what's it got to do with football in some respects? So, and that's where I'm hopefully going to show you a bit of a video now and start to bring in some of the more football elements for you. If Sakara, if you don't mind just letting me know that this video plays and you can hear it, okay?
Yeah, I'll let you know. Oh, there's no sound.
Okay. Bear with then. We'll see if I can resolve that problem. Try again. Yes, no.
No sound. Is there? Yeah, if you see down the bottom there, furthest.
I'm not going to spend 2 times on it. But this is the Equal Game / Let Girls Play video. I'll share it with you afterwards so you can watch it. But it's quite a nice one that just demonstrates some of the kind of, I guess, the things that we're trying to change within the game at the moment. But so I'll so you can watch it properly. I'll share it with you afterwards just so you can watch it properly rather than without any sound. So I'll move on and I'll just go through kind of briefly, I guess more of a football point of view. There's kind of 2 main ways to get involved in football at the moment, and that's across all pathways. But specifically in terms of girls football, we've got team-based opportunities, which are primarily via the Staffordshire Girls and Ladies League. So that's very traditional football, setting up, you know, an under-8s, under-9s, under-10s team, 5v5, 7v7, working through, playing 9-a-side, 11-a-side, and then transitioning into kind of adult football, very kind of traditional based kind of football as people would think of and what we watch on the TV, and what is quite commonly played within, say, across male game, across the female game, and what people probably think of initially when you say, right, okay, I'm going to go and play football. But I guess in a slightly different strand of work, there's also sessional opportunities. So that's the Wildcats centres, which some of you may kind of run already. It might be the Squad Girls centres, which again, the kind of the lead on to that. It might be Just Play, again, the adult kind of version of that. And then the other kind of turn up and play type sessions that people are allowed to just kind of turn up and play in the sessions without any kind of commitment or not having to sign in for a team and things like that. So brief overview of what them kind of two opportunities look like. And again, as I mentioned before, them sessional opportunities is probably where we see this campaign, which we're working with Women in Sport on, probably where we see the most kind of overlap, I guess, between their campaign and our campaign, because it's very much about activating, getting involved without any pressures, without any worries about competitiveness. It's about just getting going, which very much links into our kind of programs. So Wildcats, for those that aren't aware, is a recreational program for 5 to 11-year-olds. Girls, and Squad Girls is the lead on to that, so targeting girls 12 to 14. There is a small gap in the pathway at the minute at 14 to 16, but then at 16 plus you can participate in Just Play. Just Play is a really flexible program as well, so you could have a Just Play centre which is specifically for under 21s. You could have a Just Play centres specifically for kind of any women kind of no experience. It might be a walk-in football centre. So Just Play can be quite flexible as well for that adult provision, the kind of the turn up and play, no commitment needed, etc., etc. So there are programs. And for those that are or aren't running them programs at the minute, that's what's available. And if you're running one and you think, oh, actually, you might want to kind of go on and deliver squad as well as Wildcats, or I might want to provide that mum's football type activity in the Just Play program, that's there. So again, how to become a provider. Some of you will probably have been receiving some emails from me quite recently around our new platform. So for anyone that's a current provider and or that wants to become a provider of any of our programs, there's kind of these are the simple steps to get there. So you can visit book.englandfootball.com. There's a get started button, so you can see kind of the screenshot down the bottom. So if you're a provider, and you can complete your organisation checklist and then your program checklist for whichever one it is that you would like to deliver. And then you can just set your sessions up and get playing. So it's very much, hopefully those that will have seen FA events will know that it wasn't the easiest of systems to use. So this transition onto book football will be a well-received one, hopefully, by most. For those that haven't looked at the system yet, it's a lot more user-friendly than previous ones. So I'd recommend, if you've not already done that, kind of getting going on that. And if you want to deliver some more programs or you want to become a new provider, then that's how you kind of get going. And we can kind of support you through that process, whether you're transitioning from the old system and or kind of becoming a new provider and getting going for the first time. And how that links to kind of time together. So there's a few different ways that we're thinking about how time together links into our football provision. So first things first, as kind of Sakura and Varsha kind of mentioned, it's very much a social media kind of campaign in some respects, because we want to showcase the best of football in our county. So it's very much around, if you're delivering any of one of these programs and or you've got some female coaches that are delivering to their daughters and or daughters' friends, you've got an opportunity there to really kind of shout about what you do and the great things that are happening at your club, which we know there's plenty of, but sometimes we don't really shout about them enough, because actually somebody's story or a case study here or there might really inspire the next person to get involved. And then from there, you've got an opportunity to set up some activator sessions. So I've set up at the bottom on that like pitch on what you might be able to run a one-off session, which is just about getting people involved. So people that maybe have never been involved with your club before, maybe people that have always been involved in your club before, but running some maybe a one-off kind of activator session during that kind of 2-week period could be an option. Obviously, we know facilities can be a problem sometimes, but if you're already running some girls football activity, it might be something that you can do alongside it. It might be something that you can just bring a few of the teams together, or centres, squad girls, wildcats, or a mum's football just play kind of centre together. At the same time, if you're running separately at the moment, just as a one-off event, to really kind of bring people together and showcase the best of what this program is trying to promote, and what the campaign is trying to promote. And then from there, you can signpost any of your sessions that you're currently running at the minute. So if you've got Wildcats running on a Monday night, or a Squad Girls Centre running on a Thursday, or Just Play that runs whenever it is that your programs are running, if you can bring people all together in one place and promote this activity, you've then got an opportunity to get more people coming to them week-to-week sessions thereafter as well. So hopefully that's kind of the idea around the time together. Can we run something? Can we support the social media campaign, and can we signpost to sessions that you might be running within your club to just get more and more people involved? But that also, it's worth kind of mentioning that playing together is not the only kind of time together that mums and daughters are going to spend with each other within the game. So there's quite a lot of female coaches which are coaching mums, which are mums coaching daughters teams, or mum-like figures, and that's just a good story to inspire some more female coaches in the game, as well as playing. And we on one of our previous workshops, I think it was one of the coaches from Sporting Causa kind of shared that it was actually her daughter that inspired her to get involved in coaching, because she wanted to be a role model for her, as well as wanting to support her daughter get involved in football as well. So I think it works both ways, and we can very much kind of promote getting involved in the coaching side of things, as well as playing together as well. And again, we can share them stories using the social media kind of campaign hashtags and tags there during that campaign time. And I guess just quickly, we've been able to get through the content really quickly. So I guess the last little thing is kind of what next, what comes after this little workshop, and what do we want to kind of see happen. So just a bit of a summary. Go back to your clubs, have a chat with your fellow coaches or parents, whoever it is that you're kind of connected to in your environments, and think about what sessional opportunities and what team-based opportunities you currently have available, and whether there's any kind of need, desire, or will to provide anything else. So obviously you'll know that in team-based opportunities, say there's then foundation stage teams, youth teams and adult teams, and that will link into accreditation for those that are looking at that in a couple of months' time when that window opens. And in the sessional opportunities kind of space, we've got the Wildcats, Squad Girls and Just Play, as we've mentioned. There's also that in between, so I've put that 7v7 in there at the minute. So some of you might know that the Staffordshire Girls and Ladies League run their 7v7 midweek league, which is a recreational kind of league. So it's very much just about kind of mums or older players, less experienced players, and or those that there's also an opportunity for those that just want a little bit more recreational time, but might have to play the game previously as well, and be a little bit more experienced. We've got different divisions there for different people and different experiences, but there's that opportunity there to play in that 7v7 kind of recreational league as well. So which kind of is probably a little bit of an overlap between sessional opportunities and team-based, because it is technically team-based, but it's probably in a little bit more of the recreational space. Like the sessional opportunities, hence why it's kind of in the middle. But if you feel like there's some gaps in there, within your clubs or within the programs, kind of generically. Can you look to work with your club officials and or other coaches within your club and or anybody else that might be able to help fill some of them gaps maybe, and also decide, I guess, where you want to go and what you want to offer as the next pro bono, or do you just want to make the ones that you currently offer the best that they could possibly be? So that's just a little bit of an evaluation piece for you guys to do away from the workshop. I guess the next step from that is if you want some support in delivering or filling them pathways in either the sessional or team-based kind of pathways, we can get involved in our Equal Game program. So Equal Game is a club development kind of program specifically around women and girls football, and we've got our Equal Game ambassador Jo Waldron, who is available, as well as myself and the rest of the team at Staff to Fay, there to help and support you kind of along them journeys. When people say club development, it's not always about how many teams that you have, although sometimes it's nice to see lots of girls playing in teams as well. Sometimes it could be other areas about, say, developing that recreational pathway, as well as if you've already kind of got a good established kind of team-based pathway set up as well. So it could be in a different space in that sense as well. And if you need anything else after this kind of workshop, or you've got any questions about anything, you want to help setting something up, or you just want some more support, my email is on the bottom there. Most of you will have had that already with having signed up to the workshop, but if you need anything as a reminder there, feel free just to get in touch, and we can go from there. So that covers my kind of topic. So we've been able to get through that content really quick, Sakara. So I'll exit the slide share, and hopefully if anybody has any questions at all, or has anything that they want to discuss, has any ideas, now is kind of the time and space to be able to kind of do that. Similarly, if you want to drop anything in the chat, I'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, kind of I'll give you a couple of minutes now. This is where we get the deadly silence that no one wants to say anything. But but yeah, if you want to share anything, go on, Paul. Have you got something you want to say?
Not really. No,
it's all right. I just wondered if you'd. Yeah.
Yes, I've got it. It's the mums when I spoke to you before, but
yeah.
I don't think we're in the space to do it this side of the new year.
Yeah.
It's facilities is the problem.
Yeah.
And it's probably more likely when I've got the 3G becoming available with teams finishing and summer appearing which is like we did with the girls during the summer months. So it's and we're 40 years old, Pancras Juniors are next year, and we want to link something into our 40th celebration. So it's probably too early for what I want to do at the moment.
Yeah, no, that completely makes sense. But it's good to just know. So you might already have people in the club that are already involved and things like that you may be able to share them stories and stuff when the time comes. You're able to kind of push them things as well. And we'll be kind of, obviously we're doing a little bit of a push on recreational football at the minute, which ties into the campaign with women in sport, but we'll also probably do another push on it, kind of going more into them summer months when the weather is slightly nicer and people feel a little bit more inclined to get outside and participate as well. So it's definitely not the last you'll hear us talking about recreational football, and there'll be plenty more opportunities and stuff to get involved and run events and things like that moving forwards as well. Anything else from anyone?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Cool, thanks. Perfect, thank you. Well,
I was just going to say, yeah. I mean, last year we worked a lot with a football club that just focused on a mother and daughter, and her daughter asked her mother one day whether she would come and coach her team because they lost a coach. Mother came along, started coaching, and she's been coaching ever since. She now goes to the Emirates every Sunday she can go. And so we just kind of followed along her journey. We took a few pictures, a few quotes, got a few videos. She's now playing in a 7-a-side league and really enjoying it with some of her neighbours, the mother. So, stories like that are so emotive and they're so powerful. And like Dani said, we really do just want to show off your clubs and what you're doing. So it really doesn't have to be something super crazy, super big. it can be, you know, whatever you want to make of it. If you've got a quote and you want us to share a quote of some amazing mother or some amazing daughter and mother duo, you can let us know and we can share that. We can tag you. We do also get quite a lot of press coverage over time together. So again, a great space to be promoting your clubs and obviously hopefully get more sign-ups at these clubs and, you know, increase that participation.
Yeah, really good. I think if anybody, obviously we know, so Caroline's already been part of one of our campaigns, and Reese come out to do some video and stuff in preparation for sharing a couple of weeks ago. So that was a good one. But say if anybody else has got any kind of female coaches or players that play within kind of rec space and then daughters play in kind of wildcat space as well, then obviously let us know, because although we've got kind of a little bit of a good understanding of where some of them coaches and stuff might be, we're by all means no experts of everybody that plays football or coaches in the county as well. So if you've got somebody that you think fits the campaign brief really, really well, then please let us know, and we'd love to kind of get out and get some footage and stuff. Obviously, those that maybe haven't met Reese yet, Reese is our new media kind of guy who is gonna help us in the preparation for the Time Tower campaign and getting some content and stuff together as well, so we can arrange, along with myself, we can arrange getting some of that sorted as well. So if you've got anybody that wants to be involved, then let us know. Perfect. Thank you.
That sounds lovely, Caroline.
Cool. Yeah, so I think I'll leave it there, and if anybody's got anything else that they want to share, feel free to hang on for a minute, but other than that, you're welcome to shoot off, and we'll hopefully catch up with you again soon.
And I'll share some of our resources with Dani to share with you, so you can see some of our past time together videos and content.
That's great. Thank you. Cool. But have a good evening all.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. See ya.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Needs electric bit. Can I go in one day?
You can.
Or do I have to charge it?
Okay. See you, Dani.
Yeah. See you later.
Okay. Have a good coaching session.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.